welcome back. Now I know what you're thinking. Joe, are you showing us the same stage over and over again? Yeah, but no. So one of those was shot with a 365 and 380. The other was shot with a 365 and 9mm. The difference being both of them were shot with duty ammunition or carry ammunition that I had lying around. It was like he said, once a year you kind of want to get this stuff gone and get new stuff. And I thought, rather than just let the ammo, the old hollow points pile up, let's take them to a match and let's see what the real difference is. The last thing I want to do is argue with you or anybody else in the comment section about what is ballistically superior, the 9mm or the 380. But the comparison here is what's more controllable, and how does that factor into somebody else, me in this instance, but also somebody else that might be thinking about, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to buy a 380 or am I going to buy a 9mm? And what am I capable of with both of those things? I fall into the camp of 380 is just good enough. There's a lot of people who think, 380, it's just not good enough ballistically, but it's just not good enough. And I fall into the camp where it's just good enough for carry. It's like the bottom line of that. So there were some surprising things that came out of this, and there were some things that I probably should have thought of beforehand. But we'll get into more of that. Let's take a look at a few more stages, and at the end we'll kind of come back with some final thoughts on 380 versus 9mm, settling it today. Okay, so that was stage 4 and stage 6 of the ASI match that we tried these at. As you saw, the 380 had a little bit of trouble there with stage 6. I got to thinking, like, when I was firing I was going bang bang, and then a couple of those rounds were like poof poof, and so I ended up stopping myself. There's like targets left to shoot, and I was a ton of points down because I didn't shoot at them at all. I got a penalty, but the rounds were so light that in my head I was like, oh, that could be a squib or a round stuck in the barrel, and I did not want to risk hurting myself or blowing up a gun to do that. So, but I don't. After that, I took some footage, and I'll show it to you here in a second. I went over to what was the next bay, which was open, and I tried what I had left, because it was pretty much the end of the match at that point. What I had left of the old 380 that I had, and I didn't say it in the video, but I turned it off before I came to this conclusion. But I had some Hornady ammunition in there, and each one of those was either just really light, and it would send. There were no squibs or anything like that. It was sending them out the barrel, but it was like really light, and it was caused those malfunctions. So I thought that was an interesting find there. And I'm torn between the idea that it was because it was old ammunition, or I don't know how leaving ammunition lying around could make it be less potent, but it seemed to happen with that Hornady ammunition each time. So after that, I put a few different loads of hollow points. And then for the last stages, which we'll see here in a second, I went back to some flat point ammunition that was all the same manufacturer to see how it would do, and it ran just fine. So let's take a look at that footage from the opposite bay testing out the ammo.
It's 380, the last of the old rounds that I have. That one didn't look old, but this is the old kit. Yeah. This stuff seems to run okay. This is the, I don't know, that weird round. See if I can get a name on it. It says Jag. That one ran fine. That was a full mag of the Jag, whatever that is, stuff. Ooh, light strike on that one. Some of the old ammo, that's in the water. This is S&B, gone. Very light load that one time. Let's see. And we got a stuck. Right now is not the best time for
Okay, so that's it for the stages. So I don't know if I said this already, but it usually goes 9mm or 380 first, then the 9mm. If you can't tell, yeah. So in most of them, you can tell the recoil is different. The 380 slide, it cycles differently. You can kind of tell it's a little bit faster. The 380 gun has a lighter spring in it, and it's a lighter load, but yeah, it seems to function a little bit quicker. Takeaways here. For 380 ammo, you really need to choose wisely on what you're going to use. I didn't feel like it was that good of a test this first time. I'm going to get into what I'm going to do next, because like I just didn't feel like, with all those malfunctions and that old ammo and it not working right, like I wasn't happy with the really comparing these two things. However, when the 380 was running and running well, the 380 was just much easier to shoot in these guns. I feel like the level of skill that I have personally with my ability to shoot these little guns, I can shoot the 380 and be faster and more accurate with the 380. I'll save the ballistic advantage or the ballistic argument for somebody else. So if you're a person who's comfortable carrying 380, I think the potential to take that gun or buy a gun in 380 and use it more effectively is possible. But with that being said, the 9mm recoil isn't like most difficult thing in the world. The ammo that I was using primarily for this was Federal HST. I bought a bunch of it a while back, and it functioned well. But like I said, taming 9mm recoil isn't really that big of a deal. But I think for most of these duty or carry rounds, the idea is for those to be shot in a full-size gun. So when we move into these little guns, it can get pretty stout. And so I had my, I've got the Go Guns gas pedal on these 365s. For these purposes, I didn't even use a different gun. I have two separate guns, but I wanted it to be the same trigger, same everything. So I would literally go to the safe area, remove the slide, and put the next one on, and use the different magazines to do it. Just for your own edification, should you want to know, if you wanted to do this, you could use the 9mm magazines with the 380 ammo, but for me, I had enough mags, so I just switched them from 9mm to 380 mags. Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway here is that in terms of controllability, not in terms of stopping power or whatever that objectively means, or subjectively, I guess. Controllability, the 380, is the clear winner for now. That being said, I don't think this was like the best test because of my poor decision to. I mean, like the ammo needed to get shot up, so that's what the number one goal that we accomplished was we shot up the old ammunition that needed to go. But I think that a better comparison would be to do a side by side with like, just buy, like, this is the whatever ammo I'm going to carry, whatever ammo you're going to carry. Do a side by side, buy 100 rounds of it, which is expensive. I mean, I just replaced all the 380 that I had. I only bought 60 rounds, but it was like $75. So doing buying enough to run a match, you know, you should probably bring 100 rounds if you're going to do an ASI match, probably a little more if you're going to do an IDPA match. And, you know, that can get expensive. That can be like $100, probably more, to do it. But I'm going to do it because I think I have to look into it. I probably should have before I, you know, press record on this thing. But I'm fairly certain that SIG makes a round, a P365 round, in addition to the P365 guns in both 380 and 9 mil. So, you know, if SIG is saying this is the ammo that we've optimized for these guns, I think we ought to give that a try. A lot of the ammo that I was using for this test there was some SIG in there, not the 365 rounds, but their I think they call it their V Crown. There was Hornady in there, but it was like the American handgunner stuff. Um, there was one or two critical duty, critical defense in with the 9 millimeter. Excuse me, the 380. But the 9 millimeter was primarily the federal. But there were a few rounds of the SIG mixed in there too. Anyway, yeah, next steps. Uh, Different type of ammo. The actual ammo that I want to carry, buy it for, so you have the same round, same lot number, all that, and give this test another try in controllability. But you know, my prediction, my hypothesis is that the 380 will be more controllable. So, if you like stuff like this, check out the playlist. There's a name for it. I don't remember what it is. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.